fucked up part about growing up Asian is that when you go back to your home country, you realize you don't belong. Because the moment you step off that plane, you can just feel that you're not welcome. And I'm half Japanese. I grew up in the States my whole entire life. And my mom tried very, very hard to make sure that I stay connected to my roots. I'm talking Japanese school on the weekends, language classes, cultural festivals. And she thought that she was doing everything right. Girl, she was dead wrong. Because when my boyfriend Tyler suggested that we did an Asia trip, I was over the moon. I'm like, yes, I'll finally get to show you my culture. We'll go to Tokyo. We'll see my grandparents. You'll see my childhood memories. And I was just super excited until we got there. Okay, we start off our trip in Tokyo, and I'm expecting magic. I mean, like, neon lights, ramen, vending machines that sell literally anything. And I'm like, okay, this will be great. So we step off the plane, we grab our luggage, and we get onto the train. And it hits me almost immediately. People were nice, but it was a type of nice where their smiles were drawn on with a Sharpie. Because the thing is, I speak Japanese, but obviously they don't know that. So for them, I'm 100% white. And my boyfriend, Tyler, he's this tall, tan, curly-haired Cuban. So he's just not fitting in. And to them, we're just two American tourists who don't know any better. And the first night, we go to this little yakitori spot. I'm talking like, a place in an alley, has 5 seats, a couple of chefs. We sit down and we order. And I order in Japanese. And everyone just freezes because they're not expecting this white girl to sound like Hello Kitty. And the 2 chefs just like nod, they laugh awkwardly, they turn around. But I can hear them talking, and they call us gaijin. That means foreigner, but not in a very nice way. And then another day, we're on the train, it's midday, it's not even rush hour. And I feel like everyone's eyes on Tyler, but they're just staring at him, like not glancing or anything, full on eye contact. Old women, teenagers, salarymen, staring at him like he's a rare Pokemon card that just got pulled out of a booster pack. And at first I was like, okay, maybe I'm being sensitive. But then we sit down and this old man, literally moves seats just to not sit next to us. And that's when I was like, okay, this is fucked up. But a week later, we go and visit my grandparents. I was like, okay, this will be good, family, familiar faces. No. It got 10 times worse. My grandparents, they live in this tiny town, like this tiny mountain town. Like, you can smell the rain before it hits type of place, and the only sound you hear at night are frogs. And they don't speak any English, so I was going to be the translator, which sounds wholesome. But once we got there, it was a totally different story. So we arrive. They're being polite. They're like bowing. They're asking us to take off our shoes, if we want a tea. And everything felt like so formal that it felt rehearsed. And I can just tell they're trying really hard to be gracious. We sit down for dinner. Tatami mats, low table, like steaming miso soup. And almost immediately, it turns into an interrogation. My grandparents start asking me where I met Tyler, how long we've been together, if he's my boyfriend. And they're trying to whisper, but in a Japanese household, whispering is just pretending that the other person is not in the room. And they're wondering like out loud if he needs a fork, if the food's too flavorful for him, if he knows what a rice cooker is. I'm just sitting there, dying inside, trying to translate politely, pretending I don't understand passive-aggressive tone. And Tyler, he's just smiling through it. He's oblivious. He thinks they're being sweet. He's complimenting the food, doing everything right. And my grandparents, they are not impressed, okay? My Oji, my grandpa, asked me what Tyler does for work. And I say, oh, he works at In-N-Out, which is kind of like MOS Burger. And instantly, their faces drop. No, too low status, unacceptable. They start exchanging glances, whispering things like, so disappointing. And then, I kid you not, my grandma pulls out her phone, starts showing me pictures of her friend's grandson named Yuki, who's an accountant. It's as if Tyler doesn't even exist. And they're basically implying that I should ditch Tyler for Yuki and date someone who is respectable and has a degree with a full future. Then they ask, how did Tyler afford to get here? Did you pay for him? Is he freeloading? And I can just feel my face getting hot. You know, that type of secondhand embarrassment where it turns physical, because that was me. Like, my face was red from the head to the neck, okay? Because I'm trapped between two generations of passive disapproval. So I try to save him. I'm like, no, that's not the only thing he does. In America, there's these things called class action lawsuits, and you can use apps like this one called PayMe, and it collects payouts from these big companies that screw people over. Now, mind you, okay, I'm making them think that he is a responsible adult. Like, he knows how to work the system, and he's resourceful, right? But the second they hear law, they just stop. Their entire posture changes. They just start nodding approvingly. My grandpa refills his sake. My grandma smiles like I just announced that I was engaged. They think Tyler is a lawyer. So suddenly now he's worthy. They start complimenting him, saying, oh, so tall, so clever. He bring good luck. They're passing him more food. My grandma literally says, like, I understand now. And Tyler, he is blissfully unaware, sipping his green tea, completely content, having no idea he'd just been promoted from In-N-Out to Harvard Law in 10 minutes. And when we flew home, Tyler kept saying how this was the best trip of his life, you know, and for him it was. And he felt loved and accepted. And me, I was just like, yeah, it was great, you know, smiling. But at least now, my grandparents think I'm dating a lawyer, so that's something. And honestly, Tyler still uses PayMe. He's always collecting like these little claims for these class action lawsuits, these payouts, like $50 here, $200 there. So he calls it his lawyer money now, and I let him have it. So if you're trying to get your lawyer money too, check out PayMe, because in Japan, apparently that makes you family.